One swipe at 2 a.m. ruined everything. Ethan Cole, 32-year-old single father, stared at his phone screen in absolute horror. He just matched with Vanessa Hale, billionaire, untouchable, and worst of all, his ex-wife's younger sister. His thumb had moved without thinking, and now his entire world was about to collapse. His daughter Lily was asleep down the hall. His custody agreement sat in a folder on his desk, fragile as glass. One screenshot to his ex-wife, and he'd lose everything. He should have unmatched immediately, deleted the app, pretended it never happened. Instead, he did something stupider. He sent a message. Before we dive in, if you're enjoying this story, hit that like button and drop a comment with your city so I can see how far this tale travels. Now, let's get into it. The notification had come through at 2:17 a.m. Ethan Cole wasn't supposed to be awake. He had work in 5 hours, his daughter had soccer practice after school, and he'd promised himself, again, that he'd start getting more sleep. But there he was, sprawled on his couch in boxers and an old college t-shirt with a coffee stain on the collar, mindlessly swiping through faces he'd never meet. It wasn't loneliness exactly. Or maybe it was, but he'd gotten good at not calling it that. The apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of old pipes. Lily was asleep in her room, her door cracked open the way she liked it. Nightlight casting cartoon shadows on the hallway wall. She was 7 now. 7 years of his life that had gone by so fast, he sometimes forgot what he'd been like before her. His thumb moved on autopilot. Left, left, left. A blonde with a dog. A brunette at the beach. Someone's heavily filtered bathroom selfie. Left, left, right. He didn't even look at the profile properly. His brain was half asleep, running on muscle memory and the vague hope that maybe, just maybe, something good could still happen to him. The match notification popped up immediately. It's a match! Ethan blinked at the screen. Then his stomach dropped straight through the floor. The profile photo wasn't some stranger. It was Vanessa Hale. Vanessa fucking Hale. Dark hair pulled back in that effortless way wealthy women managed without trying. Gray eyes that looked like they could see through bullshit from 3 states away. A slight smile that could have meant anything or nothing. And beneath her name, CEO, Hale Industries. His ex-wife's little sister. No, Ethan whispered to the empty room. No, 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 no. His hands were shaking, actually shaking, like he was 15 again and had just been caught stealing beer from his dad's garage. He sat up straight, the couch groaning under him, and stared at the screen like it might change if he looked hard enough. It didn't. Vanessa Hale. 29 years old according to her profile, though he knew she'd just turned 30 last month because his ex-wife had posted about it on social media with the kind of passive-aggressive caption that made his teeth hurt. Some of us age like fine wine. Yeah, Rebecca had issues. But this was so much worse than Rebecca's issues. Ethan's mind raced. Okay, think. Nobody had to know. He could just unmatch right now, block her, delete the app entirely, and pretend this never happened. Vanessa probably swiped right on 100 guys. She wouldn't even remember. Rich people didn't pay attention to matches on dating apps. They had assistants or publicists or whatever to do that for them, right? His thumb hovered over the unmatch button, but something stopped him. Maybe it was the hour. Maybe it was the particular brand of loneliness that came from spending another Friday night alone while his daughter slept and the rest of the world seemed to be out living actual lives. Maybe it was the weird, intrusive thought that Vanessa Hale, Vanessa, who he'd met exactly twice at family events before the divorce and who had barely said 10 words to him, had swiped right on him. That didn't make sense. Billionaires didn't swipe right on single dads who drove 10-year-old Hondas and bought groceries based on what was on sale. Which meant either her profile was fake or she'd swiped by accident too, or his phone buzzed. A message. From Vanessa. Ethan's heart actually stopped, just completely flatlined for a solid 2 seconds before remembering it had a job to do. Vanessa. Well, this is awkward. He stared at those 4 words like they were written in ancient Greek. She'd messaged first. Vanessa Hale, who could probably buy and sell his entire apartment building without checking her bank balance, had messaged him first. Another buzz. Vanessa. For the record, I'm blaming wine and jet lag. Vanessa. You're not going to screenshot this and send it to Rebecca, are you? Ethan's brain finally kicked back online. His thumbs moved before he could stop them. Ethan, I was about to ask you the same thing. 3 dots appeared immediately, disappeared, appeared again. Vanessa, so we have a mutually assured destruction situation here. Ethan, looks like it. Vanessa, I should probably unmatch. Ethan, probably. Vanessa, are you going to? Ethan looked at that question for a long time. Too long. Long enough that he could practically feel Vanessa on the other end, wherever she was, watching those 3 dots on her screen. Ethan, are you? Vanessa, I asked first. Ethan, you also matched first. Vanessa, how do you know that? Ethan, lucky guess. The dots appeared and disappeared twice before her next message came through. Vanessa, okay, cards on the table. I'm in Singapore right now. It's 3 p.m. here. I've been in back-to-back meetings since 6 a.m., and I have 3 more hours of calls before I can even think about dinner. I downloaded this app 6 months ago because my assistant thought it would be good for my mental health, and I've opened it exactly 4 times. Tonight, today, whatever. I was scrolling through matches in a conference room bathroom because someone was explaining cryptocurrency investment structures, and I wanted to stab myself in the eye with a pen. Vanessa, I saw your profile. You were holding a kid in one photo, and you looked tired in all of them, but like real tired, not Instagram tired. And I thought, that's a person who actually exists, so I swiped right without thinking. Vanessa, then I saw your last name. Ethan read that message 3 times. Ethan, I was half asleep, thought you were someone else. Realized who you were about 30 seconds after I swiped. Ethan, nearly threw my phone across the room. Vanessa, did you actually? Ethan, no, it's a new phone, can't afford to break it. Vanessa, fair. The conversation should have ended there. That was the natural stopping point. They'd acknowledged the awkwardness, established that it was a mutual accident, and now they could both unmatch and never speak of it again. Ethan typed, well, this was... But Vanessa's message came first. Vanessa, the kid in your photos, that's Lily? He hesitated. Talking about his daughter with his ex-wife's sister felt like walking across a frozen lake in spring. Every step could be the one that sent him through the ice. Ethan, yeah, she's 7. Vanessa, she looks like you. Ethan, poor kid. Vanessa, I didn't mean it as an insult. Ethan, I know. Silence. Well, digital silence. Ethan could hear his own breathing, the tick of the clock on the wall, a car passing outside. Vanessa, Rebecca doesn't talk about her much. When she does, it's usually complaints. Ethan's jaw tightened. Yeah, that sounded about right. Ethan, Rebecca doesn't like that Lily prefers staying with me. Vanessa, does she? Ethan, Lily? Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I'm probably a pushover compared to Rebecca. I let her eat cereal for dinner sometimes, and we watch movies on school nights. Vanessa, sounds terrible. Ethan, I know, I'm a monster. Vanessa, the worst. He was smiling, actually smiling at his phone at 2:30 in the morning while texting his ex-wife's billionaire sister. This was insane. This was... Vanessa, I should let you sleep. It's late there. Ethan, you should probably get back to your cryptocurrency torture session. Vanessa, it ended 10 minutes ago. I'm hiding. Ethan, in a bathroom? Vanessa, 5-star hotel bathroom. There's a couch in here. It's nicer than most people's living rooms. Ethan, must be rough. Vanessa, you have no idea. There was something in that message, something underneath the words that felt more real than it should have. Ethan, try me. The dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again for almost a full minute. Vanessa, do you know what it's like to sit in a room full of people who only see your bank balance? Who laugh at your jokes because you sign their paychecks? Who call you brilliant and visionary because that's what you're supposed to say to the person who controls your stock options? Vanessa, I just spent 6 hours talking and I don't think I said a single true thing. Ethan stared at his phone. Ethan, yeah, I don't know what that's like. My problems are more along the lines of, can I afford the name brand peanut butter this week? Ethan, But I get the lying part. I tell Lily everything's fine when I'm stressed about bills. I tell Rebecca I'm doing great when she asks. I tell my boss I love my job. I tell myself I'm not lonely. Ethan. So yeah, maybe I get it a little. Vanessa. The peanut butter thing was supposed to make me feel bad, wasn't it? Ethan. Little bit. Vanessa. It worked. Ethan. Good. Vanessa. You're kind of an asshole. Ethan. You matched with me. Vanessa. Moment of weakness. Ethan. Same. He could feel the conversation finding a rhythm now. That weird space where you're talking to someone you don't know, but somehow it feels easier than talking to people you've known for years. Vanessa. Okay, real question. Why are you on a dating app at 2 a.m. on a Friday? Ethan. Why are you on a dating app in a bathroom in Singapore? Vanessa. I asked first. Again. Ethan. And I deflected. Again. Vanessa. Fine. I'll go first. I'm on here because I'm 30 years old and the last person I dated seriously was in college. Since then, it's been a series of men who wanted to either fuck me because I'm rich or marry me because I'm rich. Nobody's actually wanted to know me in about 8 years. So my assistant downloaded this app and told me to at least try. I've been on 2 dates. One guy spent the entire dinner talking about his startup and asking for investment advice. The other one proposed. Ethan. Jesus. Vanessa. We hadn't even ordered appetizers yet. Ethan. What did you say? Vanessa. I said I needed to use the bathroom and climbed out a window. Ethan. You're joking. Vanessa. First floor restaurant. I'm athletic. It was fine. Ethan laughed out loud. Actually laughed. Hand over his mouth so he wouldn't wake Lily. Ethan. Okay. Fair. My turn. I'm on here because I'm 32 and I've been divorced for 3 years. And in that time, I've been on exactly 0 dates because every minute I'm not working, I'm with my daughter, and I love that. But it also means I'm starting to forget what it feels like to have an adult conversation that doesn't involve cartoon characters or elementary school drama. Ethan. Last week, I had a 30-minute discussion about whether unicorns could beat dragons in a fight. Vanessa. What was your position? Ethan. Dragons. Fire breath beats magic horse. Vanessa. Unicorns have healing powers. Ethan. Dragons have fire. Vanessa. You're very passionate about this. Ethan. Lily was Team Unicorn. I couldn't let her win that easily. Vanessa. Good parenting. Ethan. I try. Another pause. Longer this time. Vanessa. We should probably stop talking. Ethan. Probably. Vanessa. This is a bad idea. Ethan. Terrible idea. Vanessa. Rebecca would lose her mind. Ethan. She'd take me back to court. Vanessa. I'd be disinherited. Ethan. You're already a billionaire. Does that matter? Vanessa. You'd be surprised. He should have said goodnight, should have unmatched, should have done literally anything other than what he did next. Ethan. What time is it there? Vanessa. 2:47 p.m. Why? Ethan. How long until your next meeting? Vanessa. 45 minutes. Ethan. Tell me about Singapore. And just like that, they kept talking. Vanessa told him about the city, about meetings in glass towers and street food that cost $3 and tasted better than anything she could get at a Michelin-starred restaurant. She told him about jet lag and time zones and what it felt like to wake up in a different country every few days and sometimes forget where you were. Ethan told her about Lily's soccer team and the chaos of getting a 7-year-old ready for school and the specific kind of exhaustion that came from single parenting. He told her about his job, middle management at a logistics company, nothing special, and the weird satisfaction of solving small problems in a world that felt increasingly full of massive ones. They talked until Vanessa had to go to her next meeting, and Ethan realized the sun was coming up. Vanessa. I really need to go. Ethan. Yeah. Vanessa. We're not going to talk again, are we? Ethan. Probably not a good idea. Vanessa. Right, okay. Vanessa. It was nice talking to you, Ethan. Ethan. You too. He watched the screen, waiting for her to unmatch. She didn't. Neither did he. Lily woke him up 3 hours later by jumping on his chest. Daddy, you fell asleep on the couch again. Ethan groaned, his phone sliding off his chest onto the floor. Every muscle in his body ached. His neck was bent at an angle that would probably require physical therapy. What time is it? He mumbled. 8:30? We're going to be late for soccer. Shit. He sat up too fast, head spinning. Language, I didn't say that. You said it yesterday too. That doesn't count. Lily giggled, already dressed in her purple soccer uniform, her dark hair in a ponytail that definitely hadn't been done by him. She must have gotten herself ready, which filled him with both pride and the vague anxiety that he was failing as a parent. Did you eat breakfast? He asked. Cereal. Which cereal? The good kind. Lily. The one with the marshmallows. That's candy. It says part of a complete breakfast on the box. That's advertising, baby. You got played by Big Cereal. She giggled again and threw herself at him for a hug. Ethan caught her, breathing in the smell of strawberry shampoo and marshmallow cereal. 7 years old, growing so fast he could barely keep up. All right, go brush your teeth. I need 5 minutes to look like a human. You look like a zombie. Thank you. Very helpful. She bounded off down the hallway while Ethan dragged himself upright and stumbled toward the bathroom. He looked like hell. 3 hours of sleep on the couch after staying up all night texting his ex-wife's sister would do that. His phone buzzed in his pocket. For a second, just a second, his heart jumped. But it wasn't Vanessa. It was a text from Rebecca. Rebecca, reminder that I'm picking Lily up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Don't be late this time. He'd been late once, 3 months ago, because Lily couldn't find her favorite stuffed animal and had a complete meltdown. But Rebecca never let anything go. Ethan, got it. Rebecca, and she needs her blue dress, the one I bought her for the wedding. Ethan, what wedding? Rebecca, my friend Caroline's daughter is getting married. I told you about this. Ethan, you didn't. Rebecca, I absolutely did. Check your emails. He didn't bother checking. If Rebecca said she'd sent an email, she'd sent an email. Probably at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday with the subject line, important, read immediately in all caps. Ethan, fine, blue dress, got it. Rebecca, and make sure her hair looks nice. Last time it was a mess. He typed and deleted 3 different responses before settling on, Ethan. Okay, she didn't respond. She never did once she'd given her orders. Ethan splashed cold water on his face and tried not to think about the fact that he'd spent 4 hours having the most real conversation he'd had in months with someone he absolutely could not, under any circumstances, talk to again. Soccer practice was chaos. Lily's team was called the Purple Dragons, which sounded intimidating until you saw them, 12 7-year-olds who spent more time doing cartwheels than playing soccer. Ethan sat in the bleachers with the other parents, most of whom he'd exchanged maybe 10 words with over the past season. Ethan, right? He turned to find a woman in yoga pants and an expensive-looking jacket settling onto the bench next to him. Blonde, mid-30s, wedding ring the size of a small planet. Yeah, hi. Jessica. My daughter's the one doing a handstand by the goal. Ah. Ethan had no idea which kid that was. Cool. I've seen you here before. You always come alone? There was a question underneath the question. Ethan had gotten good at hearing it. Yep, just me and Lily. Divorced? 3 years now. Oh, I'm sorry. She didn't sound sorry. She sounded interested. That must be hard. We manage. Still, raising a daughter alone, she leaned a little closer. If you ever need help with anything, play dates or whatever, I'm happy to exchange numbers. Ethan had been single for 3 years. He wasn't so out of practice that he couldn't recognize what was happening here. That's nice of you, he said carefully, but we're pretty good. Thanks, though. Jessica's smile tightened just slightly. Of course, just thought I'd offer. She moved to a different section of the bleachers 10 minutes later. Ethan watched Lily chase the ball across the field, her ponytail bouncing. She was terrible at soccer, absolutely awful, but she loved it. And that was enough. His phone buzzed. This time it was Vanessa. Vanessa. So I have a question. His heart did that stupid jump thing again. Ethan. Thought we weren't doing this. Vanessa. I know. But I'm in an airport and I'm bored, and you're the only person I've talked to in 6 months who didn't want something from me? Ethan. I'm at my kid's soccer practice. Vanessa. Perfect. You can ignore me easily. Ethan. What's the question? Vanessa. Do you think dragons could swim? Ethan actually laughed out loud. A couple of parents turned to look at him. Ethan. Are we continuing the dragon-unicorn debate? Vanessa. It's important. I've been thinking about it. Ethan. You're a CEO. Don't you have more important things to think about? Vanessa. I just spent 8 hours thinking about important things. Now I want to think about dragons. Ethan. Fair enough. Yes, dragons can definitely swim. Vanessa. But they breathe fire. Wouldn't water extinguish that? Ethan. External fire breath. Internal fire lungs. Vanessa. That doesn't make biological sense. Ethan. We're talking about dragons. Vanessa. Good point. He shouldn't be doing this. Shouldn't be texting her. Shouldn't be smiling at his phone while his daughter played soccer 50 feet away. Ethan. Where are you flying to? Vanessa. New York, then Denver on Tuesday, then back to San Francisco Wednesday. Ethan. That sounds exhausting. Vanessa. It is. Vanessa. Where do you live? Ethan. Portland. Vanessa. Oregon? Ethan. Unless there's another Portland with terrible traffic and good coffee. Vanessa. I'm in Portland next month. Ethan's thumbs froze over the keyboard. Vanessa. Board meeting. I'll be there for 3 days. Ethan. Oh. Vanessa. Yeah. 3 dots appeared and disappeared 5 times. Vanessa. We should probably not meet up. Ethan. Definitely not. Vanessa. Would be a terrible idea. Ethan. The worst. Vanessa. Rebecca would murder us both. Ethan. Slowly. Vanessa. Painfully. Ethan. With witnesses. Vanessa. So that's decided then. We're not meeting. Ethan. Absolutely not. Vanessa. Good. Vanessa. But hypothetically. Ethan. Hypothetically? Vanessa. If we were incredibly stupid. Ethan. Which we're not. Vanessa. Right. But if we were. Ethan. Yeah? Vanessa. Where would you hypothetically suggest? Ethan looked out at the soccer field, at Lily, who was now doing cartwheels instead of playing, at the other parents with their normal problems and normal lives. He thought about Rebecca and custody arrangements, and how one wrong move could take away everything that mattered. He thought about Vanessa in a bathroom in Singapore, hiding from people who only saw her as a bank account. He thought about 4 hours of conversation that had felt more real than anything he'd experienced in years. Ethan. There's a coffee shop on Morrison. Little place. Good coffee. No one bothers you. Ethan. Hypothetically. Vanessa. Hypothetically, I'll be in town on the 23rd. Ethan. Hypothetically, I could probably get someone to watch Lily that afternoon. Vanessa. This is a bad idea. Ethan. The worst? Vanessa. We shouldn't do this. Ethan. Probably not. Vanessa. But? Ethan. But I'm going to be at that coffee shop at 2 p.m. on the 23rd. Vanessa. Hypothetically? Ethan. Yeah, hypothetically. Vanessa. Okay. Vanessa. Hypothetically, I'll see you there. Ethan stared at the message for a long time. Then he looked up and watched his daughter kick the ball in completely the wrong direction, while her coach called out encouragement and her teammates cheered anyway. "Daddy!" Lily screamed across the field. "Did you see that?" "I saw it," he called back. "That was amazing." It wasn't. It was objectively terrible. But she was beaming, and for right now in this moment, before everything got complicated, that was enough. The 3 weeks between that conversation and the 23rd moved like cold honey. Ethan went through the motions. Work, Lily, soccer practice, bedtime routines. But his brain was somewhere else entirely. He kept telling himself he wouldn't actually show up, that he'd come to his senses, that the whole thing was insane and reckless and exactly the kind of stupid decision that destroyed custody arrangements. But he also bought a new shirt, just in case. "You look nice," his coworker Marcus said on the morning of the 23rd, eyeing Ethan's button-down with suspicious interest. "Hot date?" "Meeting," Ethan lied, fingers fumbling with his collar. The shirt was navy blue, still had the tags on it that morning. "Client thing." "We don't have client meetings." "New initiative." Marcus raised an eyebrow, but didn't push it. They'd worked together for 6 years, shared an office that smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. Marcus knew when to let things go. Ethan checked his phone for the 40th time that hour. No new messages from Vanessa. They'd texted sporadically over the past 3 weeks. Nothing deep, nothing that crossed any lines, just small talk. She'd sent him a photo of terrible airport sushi. He'd sent her a video of Lily attempting a backflip off the couch. Normal stuff. Friendly stuff. Except nothing about this was normal or friendly. His phone buzzed at 1:47 p.m. Vanessa. "I landed. I'm checking into the hotel." Vanessa. "I still have time to cancel." Ethan. "So do I." Vanessa. "Are you going to?" Ethan. "Are you?" Vanessa. "I asked first." Ethan. "You always ask first?" Vanessa. "Someone has to." He stared at the screen. His hands were sweating, actually sweating like he was 16 and had never talked to a woman before. Ethan. "I'm going to be there." Vanessa. "Okay?" Vanessa. "Me too." Vanessa. "This is stupid." Ethan. "Incredibly stupid." Vanessa. "See you at 2. Ethan left work at 1:30, claiming a dentist appointment that nobody questioned. The coffee shop was 15 minutes away, tucked between a bookstore and a vintage clothing place that always smelled like mothballs. He'd been going there for years, back when he and Rebecca were still together, back when Lily was a baby, and he'd escape there on Saturday mornings just to feel like a person instead of a walking diaper-changing machine. The place was called Ground Zero, which was either ironic or prophetic depending on how this afternoon went. He got there at 1:55 and immediately regretted every decision he'd made in the past 3 weeks. The shop was tiny, maybe 10 tables, exposed brick walls covered in local art that ranged from pretty good to aggressively terrible. A girl with pink hair worked the counter, looking bored in the way only coffee shop employees could manage. Ethan ordered a black coffee he didn't want and sat at a table near the back, facing the door. His leg bounced under the table. He checked his phone. 1:58. What if she didn't show? What if this was all some weird game? What if... The door opened. Vanessa walked in and Ethan forgot how to breathe. She looked different in person. The photos didn't capture it, the way she moved, like she was always aware of the space around her. She wore jeans and a simple black sweater, hair down around her shoulders, and somehow managed to look both casual and like she'd just stepped out of a magazine shoot. A few people in the coffee shop glanced up, that automatic response to someone who didn't quite fit in ordinary spaces. Her eyes found him immediately. For a second, neither of them moved. Then Vanessa walked over, and Ethan stood up so fast he nearly knocked over his coffee. "Hi," she said. "Hi." They stared at each other. This was the part where normal people hugged or shook hands, or did something other than stand there like idiots. "This is weird," Vanessa said. "So weird." "Should we sit?" Yes, sitting is good." They sat. Ethan's coffee was directly between them like a tiny brown barrier. Vanessa didn't have a drink yet, but she didn't move to order one either. "You're really here," she said. "So are you." "I wasn't sure you would be." "I wasn't sure I would be either." Silence. Not comfortable silence. The kind of silence that felt like standing at the edge of something you couldn't see the bottom of. "I should get coffee," Vanessa said finally. "Probably." She didn't move. "Or we could just leave," she continued. "Decide this was a terrible idea and go back to our respective lives and never speak of it again." "We could do that." "Is that what you want?" Ethan looked at her, really looked. She was nervous. He could see it in the way her fingers drummed against the table, the slight tension in her shoulders. Vanessa Hale, Billionaire, CEO, was nervous about having coffee with him. "No," he said. "That's not what I want." Something in her face relaxed. "Okay, good. Me neither." She got up and ordered something complicated that involved oat milk and an extra shot. When she came back, she'd regained some of that composure, that carefully constructed armor that probably served her well in boardrooms. "So," she said, settling back into her chair, Here we are. Here we are. Being incredibly stupid. The stupidest." She smiled. It was a real smile, not the polished one from her profile photo. "I've been thinking about dragons all week." "Yeah?" "My board thought I was losing it. I zoned out during a presentation about Q4 projections because I was trying to figure out if a dragon's fire would work underwater or if it would create steam." "Steam," Ethan said immediately. "Definitely steam. That's basic thermodynamics." "So they could boil their enemies." "Exactly." "That's horrifying." "Dragons are horrifying. That's the point." Vanessa laughed, and something in Ethan's chest loosened. This was okay. They were okay. Just two people having coffee and talking about imaginary monsters. "How's Lily?" Vanessa asked. "Good. Great, actually. She lost a tooth last week, and the tooth fairy forgot to show up the first night." "Forgot?" "I fell asleep on the couch, woke up at 3 a.m. in a panic, and had to sneak into her room. Nearly gave myself a heart attack trying not to wake her up." "Did she notice?" "No, thank God, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to hell for the amount of lying involved in maintaining the tooth fairy mythos." "How much does the tooth fairy pay these days?" $5. Vanessa choked on her coffee. $5? Per tooth? Inflation. That's $40 a tooth by the time you account for all of them. "I didn't do the math. Please don't make me do the math." "You're going to be broke by the time she's 12. "I'm already broke." It came out more honest than he'd intended. Vanessa's expression shifted, and Ethan immediately regretted it. "Sorry," he said. "That was—" "Don't," she interrupted. "Don't apologize. I asked." "Yeah, but you don't want to hear about my financial problems." "Why not?" "Because you're—" He gestured vaguely at her. "You." "A person?" "A billionaire." "I'm aware." "So me complaining about tooth fairy inflation is probably not relatable." Vanessa leaned back in her chair, studying him. "You know what's funny? Everyone assumes having money means you don't have problems. And yeah, I don't worry about tooth fairy budgets or whether I can afford name brand peanut butter. But I worry about other stuff, like whether anyone in my life actually likes me or just likes what I can do for them, or whether I'm going to end up 40 and alone because every man I meet either wants my money or is intimidated by it. I'm not intimidated by it. You're also not trying to sleep with me. Yet." The word hung in the air between them. Ethan's brain caught up to his mouth about 3 seconds too late. "I didn't mean—" "I know," Vanessa said, but she was smiling. "Relax." "I'm relaxed." "You look like you're about to have a panic attack." "That's just my face." She laughed again, and Ethan decided that sound was going to be a problem. A serious problem. They talked for an hour. Then 2. The coffee shop filled up around them, people coming and going, laptops opening and closing, the espresso machine hissing and groaning. Neither of them noticed. Vanessa told him about growing up as the younger sister, how Rebecca had always been the pretty one, the popular one, the one their parents showed off at parties, how Vanessa had been the quiet kid with her nose in books, good at math, and terrible at everything else that mattered in their world. "When did that change?" Ethan asked. "College. I went to MIT, got into computer science. Turned out I was really good at it. Started a company my junior year with money I'd saved from a summer internship. Sold it 3 years later for $20 million. Ethan nearly dropped his coffee. $20 million. It's not as much as it sounds. It's literally $20 million. After taxes and paying back investors and my business partner taking his cut, I walked away with about $6 million, which I immediately put into my next company, which failed spectacularly. How spectacularly? Lost $4 million in 18 months. Had to move back in with my parents. Rebecca thought it was hilarious. What did you do? Started over. Third company was Hale Industries. That one stuck. She said it casually, like she was describing a successful bake sale instead of building a multi-billion-dollar tech company from scratch. Rebecca must have loved that, Ethan said. Vanessa's expression went careful. Rebecca married well. Divorced better. She's fine. She hates that you're successful. That's an understatement. She hates that I'm not. Also an understatement. They looked at each other, and something passed between them. Recognition, maybe. Two people who'd both been found wanting by the same person. "Can I ask you something?" Vanessa said. "Sure." "Why did you marry her?" Ethan took a long breath. "Because I was 23 and stupid, and she was beautiful and confident, and I thought that was enough. We met at a party. She was in law school. I was working my first real job. She made me feel like I was more than I was, like I could be someone important. And then? And then I realized she didn't actually want me. She wanted the version of me she'd built in her head, the guy who'd climb corporate ladders and make six figures and give her the life she thought she deserved. When I didn't turn into that guy, she got mean. How mean? Mean enough that when she told me she wanted a divorce, I said yes before she finished the sentence." Vanessa nodded slowly. "She did the same thing to me my whole life. Had this idea of what a little sister should be. Quiet, supportive, no competition. When I started succeeding, she couldn't handle it." "Do you still talk to her?" "Holidays, family events. We're civil, barely." "Same. Except you have Lily." "Yeah, except I have Lily." Ethan pulled out his phone and showed her a photo from last week. Lily covered in paint, grinning like a maniac. Her art project completely unrecognizable as the butterfly it was supposed to be. Vanessa studied the photo. "She's beautiful. She's a disaster. She looks happy. She is. I think. I hope. You're a good dad." "How do you know?" "Because you're terrified of being a bad one." The words hit harder than they should have. Ethan looked down at his cold coffee, blinking harder than necessary. "Hey," Vanessa said softly, "I didn't mean to." "No, you're right. I am terrified. Every single day I'm terrified I'm going to screw her up, that she's going to realize I have no idea what I'm doing, that one day she's going to wish Rebecca had gotten full custody. That's not going to happen. You don't know that. I know that you're sitting here with me instead of with her, and you've checked your phone 6 times to make sure your babysitter hasn't texted. I know you look exhausted because you probably stayed up too late making sure her homework was done and her lunch was packed. I know that photo on your phone is your lock screen. So yeah, maybe I don't know everything. But I know enough." Ethan looked up at her. Vanessa was watching him with an expression he couldn't quite read. "You're not what I expected," he said. "What did you expect? Someone colder, more corporate, less human?" "Yeah. I'm very human, just expensive." He smiled. "How expensive are we talking?" "You can't afford me." "Probably not. Definitely not." "But hypothetically?" "Hypothetically," she said, leaning forward slightly, "you'd have to buy me dinner first." Ethan's heart did something complicated. "Is that what's happening here?" "I don't know. What is happening here?" "I have no idea." "Should we figure it out?" "Probably not." But I want to." Vanessa held his gaze. The coffee shop noise faded into background static. Someone's laptop charger sparked. The espresso machine screamed. Neither of them moved. "I'm in town until Wednesday," Vanessa said finally. "Okay. I have meetings all day tomorrow." "Okay. But tomorrow night, I'm free." "Vanessa, I know, this is insane. This is the worst possible idea either of us has ever had. Rebecca would lose her mind. Your custody arrangement could blow up. I could be risking my relationship with what's left of my family. So why are we doing this?" "Because I've spent the last 3 weeks thinking about you. Because I haven't had a real conversation with anyone in years, and then I accidentally matched with you, and suddenly I remembered what it felt like to actually connect with another human being. Because I'm 30 years old, and I'm tired of being alone." Ethan's phone buzzed. He glanced at it reflexively. A text from his neighbor Sarah, who was watching Lily. "Sarah, all good here, we made cookies. Lily says she wants to stay forever." He looked back at Vanessa. "I need to pick up Lily in an hour." "I know. This is complicated. Very complicated. We shouldn't do this." "Probably not." Ethan pulled out his phone and typed quickly. "Ethan, can you watch her tomorrow night too? I'll pay double." Sarah's response came immediately. "Sarah, hot date?" Ethan. Something like that. Sarah, finally. Yes. What time? He looked at Vanessa. What time? 7? Where? I don't know Portland. You pick. Ethan thought for a second. Most restaurants he could afford would feel wrong with Vanessa. But there was a place, small Italian spot in the Pearl District, family-owned, nothing fancy, but the food was incredible. There's a place called Marcello's. It's not expensive or anything. Sounds perfect. You didn't let me finish. I don't care if it's McDonald's, Ethan. I just want to have dinner with you. His phone was still in his hand. He typed an address and sent it to her. 7 o'clock, he said. 7 o'clock. They stood up at the same time, that awkward shuffle of people who didn't know how to say goodbye. Vanessa grabbed her coffee cup, still half full. I should go, she said. Yeah, me too. Thank you for meeting me. Thank you for showing up. I wasn't sure I would. I'm glad you did. They stood there for another few seconds, close enough that Ethan could smell her perfume, something subtle and expensive that probably cost more than his car payment. Tomorrow, Vanessa said. Tomorrow. She turned to leave, got 3 steps toward the door, then turned back. Ethan? Yeah? This is crazy, right? We're both losing our minds? Completely insane. Okay, good. Just making sure. She left. Ethan watched her go, watched her climb into a black car that was definitely not a rideshare, watched the car pull away from the curb and disappear into Portland traffic. Then he sat back down and put his head in his hands. Dude, said a voice above him. He looked up. Pink-haired barista wiping down the table next to him. You good? She asked. No. That's your girlfriend? No, maybe. I don't know. You look stressed. I'm very stressed. Want another coffee? I want a time machine and better decision-making skills. She laughed. Fresh out of both. I can do a muffin. I'm good. Thanks. Ethan drove to Sarah's apartment in a daze. Lily came running out the second he knocked, covered in cookie crumbs and chocolate. Daddy, we made 7 dozen cookies. 7 dozen? Sarah appeared behind her, looking apologetic. She wanted to make enough for her whole class. That's like 90 cookies. 84, Lily corrected. I already did the math. Of course you did. He thanked Sarah, promised to drop off half the cookies later, and drove home with Lily chattering in the back seat about baking measurements and why chocolate chips were superior to raisins. He made her dinner, chicken nuggets and broccoli, the single-parent special. They watched half a movie before she fell asleep on the couch, and he carried her to bed, tucking her in the way she liked with her stuffed elephant and the nightlight on. When he came back to the living room, his phone was buzzing. Vanessa, I'm in my hotel room thinking about how terrible an idea tomorrow is. Ethan, me too. Vanessa, we could still cancel. Ethan, we could. Vanessa, are we going to? Ethan, no. Vanessa, good. Vanessa, I'm nervous. Ethan, why? Vanessa, because I like you, and I haven't liked anyone in a really long time, and I don't know what to do with that. Ethan stared at that message for a solid minute. Ethan, I like you too. Ethan, which is terrifying. Vanessa, why terrifying? Ethan, because you're you and I'm me, and this has disaster written all over it. Vanessa, maybe. Vanessa, or maybe it doesn't. Ethan, you're an optimist. Vanessa, I'm a realist. There's a difference. Ethan, what's the realistic outcome here? Vanessa, I don't know, but I'd like to find out. Ethan, even if it blows up? Vanessa, even then. They texted until midnight, stupid stuff, important stuff, everything in between. Vanessa told him about her hotel room. Apparently the bathtub was bigger than his kitchen. He told her about Lily's cookie math and how she'd argued that 7 dozen was a prime number. It's not, Vanessa had texted back. I know, I tried to tell her. She wouldn't listen. Stubborn like her dad? Stubborn like everyone in her life, apparently. Around 12:30, Vanessa sent a photo. Her view from the hotel, Portland at night, city lights stretching out toward the river. Pretty, Ethan typed. Lonely, she replied. You could order room service. watch a movie, live like a billionaire. I'd rather talk to you. I'm not that interesting. You're the most interesting person I've talked to in months. Your standards are concerning. My standards are excellent. You're just selling yourself short. Ethan looked at that message for a long time. I should sleep, he finally typed. Early morning with Lily. Yeah, I have a 6 a.m. call with Tokyo. That sounds horrible. It is. See you tomorrow? See you tomorrow. He plugged in his phone and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow he was having dinner with Vanessa Hale, his ex-wife's sister, a woman so far out of his league they weren't even playing the same sport. This was going to end badly. He knew it the way you know it's going to rain when your knee starts aching. Some things were inevitable. But right now, lying in the dark with his daughter asleep down the hall and the memory of Vanessa's laugh still fresh in his head, he didn't care. Tomorrow would take care of itself. Tonight, for the first time in 3 years, he fell asleep actually looking forward to something. Ethan was 20 minutes early to Marcello's, which meant he spent 20 minutes standing outside like an idiot, checking his phone and second-guessing everything. The restaurant was exactly as he remembered, small storefront squeezed between a bike shop and a dry cleaner, red awning faded from sun and rain, window boxes with herbs that the owner's wife tended like children. Through the glass, he could see maybe 12 tables, half of them occupied, candles flickering in wine bottles. His phone buzzed. Vanessa. I'm 5 minutes away. I'm also panicking. Ethan. Same. I've been standing outside for 15 minutes. Vanessa. That's adorable. Ethan. That's pathetic. Vanessa. Also that. He smiled despite the knot in his stomach. A black car pulled up to the curb. Not the same one from yesterday, but close enough. Vanessa stepped out and Ethan's brain went offline for a second. She wore a dark green dress, simple but obviously expensive, the kind of thing that looked effortless because someone had spent hours making it look that way. Her hair was pulled back, small earrings catching the streetlight. She looked like she belonged at some 5-star restaurant downtown, not at Marcello's where the owner's grandmother still rolled pasta by hand in the back. Hi, she said, walking up to him. Hi, you look beautiful. Stunning, completely out of my league. Nice? You look terrified. I am terrified. Good. Me too. They stood there on the sidewalk, two people who'd spent hours texting but didn't quite know how to exist in the same physical space. Should we go in? Vanessa asked. Probably, unless you want to keep standing here. I kind of do. Yeah? Once we go in, this becomes real. It's already real. I know. That's the problem. Ethan reached for the door, then stopped. We can still leave. Get in your car. Go back to your hotel. Pretend this didn't happen. Vanessa looked at him for a long moment. Do you want to? No? Then stop giving me outs. She walked past him into the restaurant, and Ethan followed before his brain could catch up. The owner, Marco, greeted them with the kind of enthusiasm he reserved for regulars. He'd known Ethan for years, had watched Lily grow up through occasional Sunday dinners when Ethan could afford them. Ethan, where's the little one? Home with a babysitter? Marco's eyes flicked to Vanessa, and something knowing passed across his face. Ah, special occasion? Something like that. Come, I have the perfect table. He led them to a corner spot, tucked away from the other diners, candlelight making the worn wood table look almost romantic. Marco handed them menus with a wink that was about as subtle as a foghorn. Wine? He asked. Please, Vanessa said. Red or white? Red. Something good. Marco grinned. I bring you something very good. You trust Marco, yes? Sure, Ethan said, though he was mentally calculating how much something very good was going to cost. Marco disappeared and they were alone. The restaurant hummed with quiet conversation, someone's laughter from across the room, the kitchen sounds filtering through the swinging door. This place is perfect, Vanessa said, looking around. It's not fancy. I don't want fancy. I want real. It's definitely real. Marco's grandmother makes everything from scratch. She's like 85 and refuses to retire. That's amazing. That's stubbornness. Vanessa smiled, tracing her finger along the edge of the menu. I'm glad we did this. We haven't done anything yet. We're here. That's something. Marco returned with a bottle of wine that definitely cost more than Ethan wanted to think about. He poured with ceremony, waited for Vanessa's approval like she was royalty. She took a sip and nodded. Perfect. Thank you. Marco beamed and vanished again. Ethan took a drink. It was good. Really good. Probably 3 times what he usually spent on an entire bottle. Don't think about the price, Vanessa said quietly. How did you... You got that look like you're doing mental math. I'm always doing mental math. Well, stop. Tonight just exists, no math. I don't know how to do that. Try. They ordered. Ethan got the carbonara. Vanessa got something with truffle oil that sounded like it should come with a car payment. When Marco left with their orders, silence settled over the table again. So, Vanessa said, we're on a date. Are we? What else would you call this? A massive mistake? That too. Ethan leaned back in his chair. Tell me something. What? Why me? Out of everyone you could be having dinner with right now, why are you here with a broke single dad who's wearing a shirt he bought specifically for this occasion? You bought a new shirt. That's what you focused on? It's sweet. It's pathetic. Stop saying that about yourself. It's true. Vanessa set down her wine glass with a soft clink. You want the truth? I'm here because you're the first person in years who's looked at me like I'm a person instead of a transaction. Because when we text, you don't ask me for favors or investments or introductions. Because you sent me a video of your daughter doing a backflip, and it was terrible, but she was laughing and you were laughing, and it was the most genuine thing I'd seen in months. She landed on her head. I know, it was great. She cried for like 10 minutes, but she tried. That's what matters. Ethan shook his head, smiling despite himself. You're not what I expected. You said that yesterday. It's still true. What did you expect? I don't know. Someone who'd order her assistant to have dinner with me instead of showing up herself. Vanessa laughed. I don't have that kind of assistant. What kind do you have? The kind who books my flights and reminds me to eat and occasionally tells me when I'm being an idiot. But sounds like a good assistant. She's the best. She also told me not to come tonight. Ethan's stomach dropped. She knows about this? Relax. She doesn't know who you are. I just told her I was having dinner with someone. And she said, don't go? She said, and I quote, you're going to do something stupid, aren't you? What did you say? I said probably. And she let you go anyway? She's not my mother. She can't actually stop me. The food arrived, plates steaming, smelling like every good memory Ethan had of this place. Marco fussed over them for a minute, making sure everything was perfect, then left them alone again. Vanessa took a bite and closed her eyes. Oh my God. Good? This is incredible. How did you find this place? Rebecca and I used to come here back when things were good. Before they weren't? Yeah, before. Do you miss her? The question caught him off guard. Rebecca? Yeah. Ethan thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I miss who I thought she was, but that person never actually existed. I built this version of her in my head, and when the real Rebecca didn't match up, I tried to make it work anyway. How long did you try? Too long. We were married for 6 years, probably should have ended after 3. Why didn't it? Lily. And fear, I guess. Fear of being alone, fear of failing, fear of admitting I'd made a mistake. Vanessa nodded slowly. I get that. Do you? I've never been married, but I've stayed in things longer than I should have. Relationships, business partnerships, friendships that stopped being friendly years ago. It's easier to stay than to leave. Until it isn't. Until it isn't, she agreed. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. The restaurant filled up around them, voices rising and falling, the kitchen getting louder as orders piled up. Ethan watched Vanessa across the table, the way candlelight caught her face, the small smile when she took another bite. Can I ask you something? He said. Sure. Why aren't you married? Jesus, Ethan, subtle. Sorry, you don't have to. No, it's fine. Fair question. She set down her fork. I was engaged once, in college. He was a computer science major like me. We were going to change the world together, build companies, make billions, be the next tech power couple. What happened? He didn't like that I was better at it than him. My code was cleaner. My ideas were bigger. My company took off and his didn't, so he asked me to step back, to let him be the face of things while I worked in the background. And you said? I said no. So he left, took the ring, took half our mutual friends, told everyone who'd listen that I was too ambitious for my own good. That's bullshit. That's men who can't handle successful women. Not all men. Enough of them. Ethan took another drink of wine. For what it's worth, I think it's hot that you're successful. Vanessa nearly choked on her water. Hot? Yeah, you built something from nothing. You're smart as hell. You probably know more about running a company than I know about anything. That's attractive. You're serious. Completely serious. She stared at him. Most men are terrified of me. I am terrified of you, just not because you're successful. Then why? Because I'm sitting across from someone who could buy this entire restaurant without blinking, and I'm trying not to think about the fact that my card might get declined when the check comes. Ethan, and because I really like you and I have no idea what I'm doing, and this feels like it's going to end in disaster, but I'm here anyway. Vanessa reached across the table. Her hand found his, fingers intertwining. I'm terrified too. Of what? Of how much I like you. Of what happens when this can't be a secret anymore. Of my sister finding out and making our lives hell. Of this being good and then losing it. So why are we doing this? Because I'm tired of being alone. Because you make me laugh. Because when I'm with you, I feel like I can breathe for the first time in years. Ethan squeezed her hand. That's a pretty good reason. What's yours? Same. All of it. They sat like that for a moment, hands joined across the table, the restaurant noise fading into white noise. Then Ethan's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and his heart stopped. Rebecca. Shit, he muttered. Who is it? My ex-wife. Vanessa pulled her hand back like she'd been burned. Answer it. I don't... Answer it, Ethan. She's Lily's mother. He picked up. Hello? Where's Lily? Rebecca's voice was sharp, accusatory. She's with Sarah, my neighbor. Why? I've been calling you for 20 minutes. Ethan checked his phone. 3 missed calls. He'd had it on silent. Sorry, What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I'm picking her up early tomorrow. My flight got moved up. Okay, what time? 8? 8 in the morning? Is that a problem? No, it's just, you said 10. Plans change, Ethan. Can you handle that, or should I file another motion about your inability to be flexible? His jaw clenched. Across the table, Vanessa was watching him, concerned. 8 is fine, he said evenly. Good, and make sure she has the blue dress. I know. And her hair should be, oh, I know, Rebecca. I've got it handled. Silence on the other end, then, are you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine. Where are you? Out. Out where? Just out. Does it matter? It matters if it affects Lily. It doesn't affect Lily. She's home asleep. With a babysitter? Yes, with a babysitter. A good one. Sarah's watched her 100 times. On a Tuesday night? I'm allowed to have a life, Rebecca. Another pause, longer this time. When she spoke again, her voice had that edge that meant she was putting pieces together. Are you on a date? That's none of your business. Oh my God, you are. Who is she? Goodbye, Rebecca. Ethan, if you're bringing women around my daughter, our daughter, and I'm not bringing anyone around her, Lily's at home, I'm having dinner. That's it. Who are you having dinner with? Someone, a friend. It doesn't concern you. Everything concerning Lily concerns me. This has nothing to do with Lily. Really? Because last I checked, the custody agreement states, I know what it states. I'm not violating anything. I'll have Lily ready at 8 tomorrow. Is there anything else? He could practically hear her teeth grinding through the phone. No, she said finally. Just have her ready. I will. She hung up without saying goodbye. Ethan set his phone down and realized his hands were shaking. That sounded fun, Vanessa said quietly. She's a nightmare. She's worried about Lily. She's controlling, There's a difference. Maybe both. Ethan took a long drink of wine. Sorry, that was... Don't apologize, I get it. Do you? Your sister drives you crazy, but she's not calling you at 9 p.m., interrogating you about your personal life. No, but she's done worse. Like what? Vanessa hesitated. Like trying to tank my company because I wouldn't invest in her friend's startup. Like spreading rumors that I'm difficult to work with. Like telling our parents I'm too focused on business to ever have a family. Jesus. Sisters are complicated. That's an understatement. Marco appeared to clear their plates, oblivious to the tension. Dessert? We have tiramisu, made fresh today. Yes, Vanessa said immediately. 2. When he left, she looked at Ethan. We're not letting her ruin this night. She already kind of did. Then we take it back. We eat dessert, we finish this very good wine, and we remember why we're here. Why are we here? Because we want to be. Even knowing this is going to blow up eventually? Even then. The tiramisu came. It was perfect, rich and coffee-soaked, and exactly what Ethan needed. They ate slowly, the tension from the phone call gradually dissolving. Tell me about Lily, Vanessa said. Really tell me. Not just the funny stories. Ethan leaned back. She's everything. Smart as hell, stubborn as hell, zero filter. She asked her teacher last week why adults lie so much. Oh no. Yeah, got called in for a parent-teacher conference. Turns out she'd been cataloging every time an adult said something that wasn't true. We'll see, when they mean no. Maybe later, when they mean never. She had a whole list. That's brilliant. That's exhausting. She doesn't let anything slide. She sounds like you. She's better than me. Braver. She told a kid twice her size to stop bullying someone last month. Got a bloody nose for it. What did you do? Took her for ice cream and told her I was proud of her, then grounded her for fighting. Mixed messages. Welcome to parenting. Vanessa smiled. You're really good at this. At what? Being a dad, caring, showing up. That's just basic stuff. You'd be surprised how many people can't manage basic. They finished dessert. Marco brought the check, and Ethan reached for it before Vanessa could. Don't, she said. I asked you to dinner, and I can afford it better. That's not the point. Ethan, please, let me do this. Pride warred with practicality. Practicality won. He let her take the check. She paid with a black card that probably had no limit, didn't even glance at the total. Marco thanked them both, told Ethan to bring Lily by soon, gave Vanessa a look that said he approved. Outside, the night had turned cold. Portland rain threatened in the clouds overhead, that particular dampness that meant you had maybe 20 minutes before it started. I should get back to the hotel, Vanessa said, but she didn't move. Yeah, I should get home. Make sure Lily's actually asleep. Does she fight bedtime? Like it's her job. And they stood there on the sidewalk, close enough to touch, but not touching. I don't want tonight to end, Vanessa said quietly. Me neither. But it has to. Yeah. Her car pulled up, same black sedan, different driver. The door opened, waiting. When do you leave? Ethan asked. Wednesday morning, early flight. So we have tomorrow. I have meetings all day. After meetings? Ethan, coffee. Just coffee. One more time before you go. Vanessa looked at him, and something in her expression cracked. We're making this harder than it needs to be. Probably. We should just end it now. Clean break before anyone gets hurt. Do you want that? No? Then let's have coffee tomorrow. And then what? I leave. You stay here. We go back to our lives and pretend this didn't happen? I don't know. Maybe. That's not a plan. I don't have a plan. I'm making this up as I go. Vanessa laughed, but it sounded sad. Me too. She got in the car. The door started to close. Wait, Ethan said. The door opened again. Vanessa looked up at him. He didn't think, just leaned down and kissed her. It was brief, barely a few seconds. Her lips were soft, tasted like wine and coffee. When he pulled back, her eyes were wide. Sorry, he said. I should have... She grabbed his collar and pulled him back down. This kiss wasn't brief. This kiss was 3 weeks of text messages and 2 days of dancing around each other. This kiss was her hands in his hair and his hands on her waist, and the rest of the world disappearing completely. When they finally broke apart, they were both breathing hard. "Okay," Vanessa said. "Okay?" "Coffee tomorrow. Text me when and where." "Okay." She smiled, touched his face once, then got back in the car. The door closed. The car pulled away. Ethan stood on the sidewalk watching until the taillights disappeared. Then he pulled out his phone. "Ethan, I just kissed you." "Vanessa, I noticed." "Ethan, was that stupid?" "Vanessa, incredibly stupid." "Ethan, should I apologize?" "Vanessa, don't you dare." "Ethan, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Same coffee shop." "Vanessa, I'll be there." He drove home in a daze. Sarah was on his couch watching Netflix when he got back. "How was your date?" she asked, grinning. "Good. Great. I don't know. You look like you got hit by a truck. Feel like it, too." "She must be special." "She is." "Good. You deserve it." He paid Sarah, checked on Lily, asleep, stuffed elephant clutched to her chest, and collapsed on his bed fully clothed. His phone buzzed one more time. "Vanessa, thank you for tonight." "Ethan, thank you for showing up." "Vanessa, wouldn't have missed it." "Ethan, even knowing how complicated this is?" "Vanessa, especially knowing that." "Ethan, you're crazy." "Vanessa, probably." "Vanessa, get some sleep." "Ethan, you too." "Vanessa, Ethan?" "Ethan, yeah?" "Vanessa, I'm glad I swiped right." "Ethan, me too." He fell asleep with his phone in his hand, smiling like an idiot. He woke up to his phone ringing at 6:47 a.m. Rebecca. Again. He answered, still half asleep. "What?" "We need to talk." "It's 6:47 in the morning." "I know what time it is." "Who were you with last night?" Ethan sat up, suddenly very awake. "What?" "At Marcello's." "Who was she?" His blood went cold. "How did you—" "Marco's wife is friends with my mother. She saw you with a woman. She said you looked very cozy." "Rebecca, it's none of your business." "It absolutely is my business if you're bringing women around Lily." "I told you last night I'm not—" "Then who is she?" "A friend." "What's her name?" "Why does it matter?" "Because I'm Lily's mother, and I have a right to know who's in her life." "She's not in Lily's life. We had dinner. That's it." "One dinner, or is this serious?" "I'm hanging up now." "Ethan, if you're seeing someone, you need to tell me. It's in the custody agreement." "The agreement says I need to inform you if someone is living with me or spending significant time with Lily. Neither of those things are happening. Yet. Goodbye, Rebecca. I'll find out eventually." "I'm sure you will." He hung up and threw his phone across the room. It landed on a pile of laundry and buzzed immediately. Not Rebecca this time. "Vanessa. Vanessa. Good morning. Is it too early for me to say I'm still thinking about last night?" Ethan picked up his phone, stared at the message. Rebecca was going to find out eventually. She always did. And when she found out it was Vanessa, her sister, she was going to lose her mind. She'd take him back to court. She'd fight for full custody. She'd make his life hell. He should end this now. Send Vanessa a message saying it was a mistake, that they couldn't see each other again, that it was better to stop before things got worse. His thumbs moved. "Ethan, not too early. I haven't stopped thinking about it." "Vanessa, we're in trouble, aren't we?" "Ethan, yeah, we really are." "Vanessa, still want coffee later?" "Ethan, more than anything." "Vanessa, see you at 2. He got Lily up, made her breakfast, helped her find the blue dress that Rebecca insisted on. She chattered about her dreams, about school, about whether unicorns could fly or just had magic horns. "Daddy, you're not listening," she said, syrup on her chin. "Sorry, baby. What?" "I asked if your date was nice." Ethan nearly dropped his coffee. "How did you— Sarah told you?" "She said you went to see a special friend." "That's all she said?" "Uh-huh." "Was she pretty?" Lily, "It's okay if you have a girlfriend, Daddy. Tommy's dad has a girlfriend. She's nice. She makes good cookies." "I don't have a girlfriend." "But you went on a date." It was just dinner. That's what a date is. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You just don't pay attention. Rebecca showed up at exactly 8. Lily ran to the car with her overnight bag, blue dress packed carefully. Rebecca didn't get out, just waved from the driver's seat. Before Lily got in, she turned back. Daddy? Yeah? If she makes you happy, that's good. You should be happy. Then she was gone, car pulling away, leaving Ethan standing in his doorway with his heart in his throat. He texted Vanessa. Ethan, my 7-year-old just gave me relationship advice. Vanessa, what did she say? Ethan, that I should be happy. Vanessa, smart kid. Ethan, she really is. Vanessa, are you happy? Ethan, right now? Yeah, I think I am. Vanessa, good, me too. Vanessa, see you at 2. Ethan, see you at 2. He had 6 hours. 6 hours before everything either got better or fell completely apart. Ethan never made it to the coffee shop at 2. At 1:43 p.m., his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. Mr. Cole? A woman's voice, professional, clipped. Yeah? This is Patricia Chen from Morrison & Associates. I'm calling on behalf of Rebecca Cole regarding an urgent custody matter. His stomach dropped through the floor. What? Mrs. Cole has filed an emergency motion for full custody of your daughter, Lily. You're required to appear in family court tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. A courier is en route to your address with the official documentation. Wait, what? Why? What happened? I'm not at liberty to discuss the details over the phone, Mr. Cole. The specifics are in the documentation. I'm simply informing you of the court date. This is insane. She just picked Lily up this morning. Everything was fine. Again, sir, I can't discuss. Let me talk to Rebecca. Mrs. Cole is unavailable at the moment. Unavailable? She's filing for emergency custody and she's unavailable? I understand you're upset, but I need to confirm you'll appear tomorrow at 9 a.m. Of course I'll be there. What the hell else would I do? Thank you, Mr. Cole. You'll receive the documentation within the hour. She hung up. Ethan stood in his living room, phone still pressed to his ear, trying to process what had just happened. Emergency custody motion. Court tomorrow. Rebecca was actually doing this. His phone buzzed. Vanessa. Vanessa. On my way. Running a few minutes late. Can't wait to see you. He stared at the message, his chest tightening. Ethan. We need to talk. Vanessa. That sounds ominous. Ethan. Rebecca just filed for emergency custody of Lily. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Vanessa. What? Ethan. Court tomorrow morning? I just got the call. Vanessa. Why? What happened? Ethan. I don't know yet. Papers are coming. Vanessa. Ethan. I'm so sorry. Ethan. This is because of last night. Has to be. Someone saw us and told her. Vanessa. You don't know that. Ethan. What else would it be? She called this morning asking who I was with. Now this. Vanessa. Even if someone saw us, that's not grounds for emergency custody. Ethan. Unless she's making it grounds. The dots appeared and stayed there for a long time. Vanessa. I'm still coming. We need to talk about this. Ethan. No. Vanessa. Ethan. Ethan. If she finds out it's you, this gets 10 times worse. Vanessa. She's going to find out eventually. Ethan. Not today. Not like this. Vanessa. So what, we just stop? Pretend last night didn't happen? Ethan. I don't know. I just know I can't lose Lily. Vanessa. You won't. Ethan. You can't promise that. His doorbell rang. The courier, probably. Legal documents that would tell him exactly how badly he'd screwed up. Ethan. I have to go. I'm sorry. Vanessa. Don't apologize. Just call me later. Please. Ethan. I will. He wouldn't. The courier was a kid who looked barely old enough to drive, holding a manila envelope like it contained anthrax. Ethan signed for it, closed the door, and sat on his couch to read. The legal language was dense, deliberately obtuse in the way lawyers made everything. But the core of it was simple enough. Rebecca was claiming Ethan had introduced Lily to unstable romantic partners in violation of their custody agreement, that he was prioritizing his personal life over their daughter's well-being, that Lily had expressed confusion and distress about Daddy's new friend. Lily had said no such thing. Lily didn't even know about Vanessa. But that didn't matter. Rebecca had filed the motion. The court would take it seriously because anything involving a child got taken seriously, and even if Ethan won, even if the judge threw the whole thing out, the damage would be done. He'd have to explain, justify, defend himself against accusations that were pure fiction. His phone rang again. Marcus this time. "Hey man, just checking in, you good? You left work early and you look like hell lately." "I'm fine." "That's a lie." "Yeah." "Woman trouble?" "You could say that." "The one from yesterday? The client meeting that wasn't a client meeting? How did you— Dude, I've known you for 6 years. You don't own a shirt that nice. Who is she?" Ethan closed his eyes. "Someone I can't be with." "Married?" "Worse. There's something worse than married?" "My ex-wife's sister." Silence. Then, "Jesus Christ, Ethan." "I know." "Her sister? Rebecca's sister?" "I know." "The billionaire one? Vanessa?" "How do you know about Vanessa?" "Rebecca used to brag about her, remember? Every time her sister did something successful, Rebecca would tell everyone within earshot. It was exhausting." "Yeah, well, I accidentally matched with her on a dating app, and now Rebecca's filing for emergency custody." More silence. "You need a lawyer," Marcus said finally. "I can't afford a lawyer." "You can't afford not to have one. This is your daughter, man." "I know what it is. I'm serious. My cousin's a family law attorney. Good one. I'll text you her number." "Marcus, just call her, please." The text came through 30 seconds after they hung up. Jennifer Martinez, family law specialist. Ethan stared at the number for 5 minutes before calling. She answered on the second ring. "Jennifer Martinez." "Hi, Marcus gave me your number. I'm Ethan Cole. I need help with a custody thing." "Emergency motion? How did you— Those are always emergencies. When's your court date?" "Tomorrow, 9 a.m. "That's fast. What's the allegation?" He explained. The dating app, the dinner, Rebecca's phone calls. Jennifer listened without interrupting. "Okay," she said when he finished. "First thing, don't panic. Emergency custody motions sound scary, but they're hard to win unless there's actual danger to the child. Is there any danger to your daughter?" "No. She doesn't even know I went on a date." "Good. Second thing, who's the woman?" Ethan hesitated. "I need to know," Jennifer said. "If I'm walking into court tomorrow, I need all the information." "Vanessa Hale." "The CEO? Hale Industries, Vanessa Hale?" "Yeah." "Okay. That's actually not as bad as it could be." "How is that not bad?" "Because she's successful, stable, no criminal record, I assume?" "No, she's not a criminal." "Then she's not a threat to your daughter. The fact that she's your ex-wife's sister is messy, but it's not illegal. Has your daughter met her?" "No." "Even better. You haven't violated any terms of your custody agreement." "Rebecca's claiming Lily is confused and distressed." "Did Lily say that?" "No. Lily told me this morning that if someone makes me happy, I should be with them." Jennifer actually laughed. "How old is she?" 7. "Smart kid. Look, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go into court tomorrow, and I'm going to argue that this motion is retaliatory and baseless, that you've been a model parent, that there's no threat to Lily, and that your ex-wife is weaponizing the custody agreement because she's upset about your personal life." "Can you do that?" "I can try, but I need you to be honest with me. Is there anything else, anything Rebecca could bring up that would make you look bad?" Ethan thought about it. The late nights, the occasional cereal dinner, the time he'd let Lily stay home from school because she'd been upset about a fight with a friend. "Nothing that makes me a bad parent," he said finally. "Good. I'll meet you at the courthouse tomorrow at 8:30. We'll go over everything before the hearing." "How much is this going to cost?" "We'll figure that out later. Right now, let's focus on keeping your daughter." She hung up. Ethan sat on his couch, legal documents spread around him like evidence of his failure. His phone buzzed. "Vanessa." Please talk to me. Ethan. I can't right now. Vanessa. Why not? Ethan. Because I'm reading legal documents about how I'm an unfit father because I had dinner with you. Vanessa. That's not true and you know it. Ethan. Doesn't matter if it's true. Matters if the judge believes it. Vanessa. What can I do? Ethan. Nothing. Stay away. If Rebecca finds out it's you, this gets worse. Vanessa. I'm not going to hide. Ethan. Yes, you are. Because if you don't, I lose Lily. Do you understand that? The dots appeared and disappeared 3 times. Vanessa. Yes. Ethan. Thank you. Vanessa. I'm not giving up on this. Ethan. There's nothing to give up on. We had dinner. That's it. Vanessa. That's not all it was and you know it. Ethan. It has to be. He turned off his phone. The rest of the day passed in a blur. He tried to work, gave up after 20 minutes. Tried to eat, managed half a sandwich. Tried to sleep, stared at the ceiling until 3 a.m. When his alarm went off at 7, he felt like he'd been hit by a truck. The courthouse was downtown, gray concrete and fluorescent lighting that made everyone look slightly dead. Jennifer was waiting outside, sharp suit, sharper eyes, folder tucked under her arm. You look terrible, she said by way of greeting. Thanks. Did you sleep? Not really. Eat? A sandwich yesterday. We need to fix that. You need to look stable in there, not like you're falling apart. I am falling apart. Fake it anyway. Come on, there's a coffee shop across the street. She bought him coffee and a bagel he didn't want, but ate anyway because she watched him like a hawk. They went over his testimony, the timeline, what to say, and what not to say. Don't mention Vanessa unless you're asked directly, Jennifer said. If you're asked, be honest but brief. You went on 1 date. Your daughter wasn't there. End of story. What if Rebecca's lawyer pushes? Let me handle it. That's what you're paying me for. I'm not paying you. You will eventually. Eat your bagel. At 8:55, they walked into the courtroom. Rebecca was already there with her lawyer, a man in an expensive suit who looked like he ate single fathers for breakfast. Rebecca wouldn't look at Ethan, just sat there, hands folded, playing the concerned mother. The judge was a woman in her 50s, gray hair pulled back, reading glasses perched on her nose. She looked tired, like she'd seen this same case 1,000 times. Case number 47-592, Cole versus Cole, the bailiff announced. They all stood. Be seated, the judge said. I've reviewed the emergency motion. Mrs. Cole, your attorney may proceed. Rebecca's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client is seeking emergency custody due to Mr. Cole's recent pattern of unstable behavior and poor judgment regarding their daughter's welfare. Specifically? The judge asked. Mr. Cole has been engaging in romantic relationships and bringing these individuals into his daughter's life without proper vetting or consideration for her emotional well-being. Has the child met these individuals? The lawyer hesitated. Not directly, Your Honor, but not directly or not at all? The child has been made aware of her father's dating activities and has expressed confusion. Made aware how? Another hesitation. Through conversations with Mr. Cole. So the child has not met anyone Mr. Cole is dating. Not to our knowledge, but then I'm failing to see the emergency. Continue. Rebecca's lawyer fumbled through the argument, citing the custody agreement, claiming Ethan's behavior showed poor judgment, suggesting there was potential for harm. Jennifer demolished him. She presented text messages between Ethan and Rebecca showing Rebecca's harassment. She presented testimonials from Sarah, from Lily's teacher, from the soccer coach. She presented Ethan's work record, his bank statements showing consistent child support payments, his spotless background check. Your Honor, Jennifer said, this motion is retaliatory. Mr. Cole went on a single date. His daughter wasn't present, hasn't met the individual in question, and by all accounts is thriving in Mr. Cole's care. My client's ex-wife is upset about his personal life and is weaponizing the custody agreement as punishment. Mrs. Cole, the judge said, turning to Rebecca, is this true? Rebecca stood, and Ethan saw the performance he'd lived with for 6 years, the slight tremble in her voice, the careful vulnerability. Your Honor, I'm concerned about Lily's well-being. Her father has been distant, distracted. She's mentioned that he's been gone more, that there are babysitters. How often? The judge interrupted. I'm sorry? How often is there a babysitter? Specific instances, please. Rebecca faltered. I don't have exact dates, but you filed an emergency motion without specific instances? Lily mentioned it, Your Honor. She said, what exactly did she say? That her father had a special friend, and that constitutes an emergency? Silence. The judge looked at both lawyers, then at Ethan and Rebecca. I'm dismissing this motion, she said. Mr. Cole has not violated any terms of the custody agreement. He has not introduced his daughter to anyone he's dating. He has maintained a stable home environment and consistent care. Mrs. Cole, I understand parental concern, but this is not an appropriate use of emergency motions. Relief flooded through Ethan so fast he nearly fell over. However, the judge continued, both parties are reminded that any future romantic partners should be introduced to the child carefully and with appropriate notice to the other parent. Mr. Cole, if this relationship becomes serious, Mrs. Cole has a right to know. Yes, Your Honor, Ethan managed. Court is adjourned. The gavel came down. Jennifer grabbed Ethan's arm as he started to stand. Wait until they leave. Rebecca and her lawyer filed out, Rebecca's face tight with barely contained rage. When the courtroom was empty except for them, Jennifer let him go. You did good, she said. I didn't do anything. Exactly. You let me do my job. Now go home, get some sleep, and for the love of God, be careful with this woman. I'm not seeing her anymore. Jennifer gave him a look. Yes, you are. I saw your face when you talked about her. You're not done. Just be smart about it. How much do I owe you? We'll work something out. Payment plan, whatever. Right now, go home to your kid. Ethan walked out of the courthouse into gray morning drizzle. His phone was still off. He turned it on and watched messages flood in. 3 from Marcus, 2 from Sarah, 14 from Vanessa. He opened hers. Vanessa, please tell me you're okay. Vanessa, I know you said not to contact you, but I'm losing my mind. Vanessa, court should be over by now. Please just let me know you're alive. Vanessa, Ethan, I'm serious. If I don't hear from you in the next hour, I'm calling every courthouse in Portland. Vanessa, I'm also getting on a plane. I was supposed to fly back this morning, but I'm not leaving until I know you're okay. The last one was from 10 minutes ago. He called her. She answered before the first ring finished. Thank God. Are you okay? What happened? The judge dismissed it. I still have Lily. He heard her breath catch. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Where are you? Airport. I was about to board, but I couldn't, not without knowing. Vanessa said, Don't tell me this is over. Don't tell me we can't see each other. I've spent the last 18 hours going insane thinking about you losing your daughter because of me. It wasn't because of you. Yes, it was. We both know it was. Ethan leaned against the courthouse wall, rain soaking through his shirt. I can't do this right now. Then when? I don't know. That's not good enough. It's all I have. Silence on her end. Then, I'm not giving up on you. You should. Well, I'm not. So you're going to have to deal with that. Vanessa, I have to board. They're calling my flight, but I'm coming back. When? I don't know. Soon. And when I do, we're going to figure this out. There's nothing to figure out. There's everything to figure out. I'm falling for you, Ethan. I know it's fast, and I know it's complicated, and I know it's the worst possible timing, but I'm falling for you, and I'm not going to pretend I'm not. The words hit him like a physical thing. I have to go, she said, but I'll call you when I land. Okay? Okay? Yeah, okay. She hung up. Ethan stood in the rain, phone in his hand, trying to process what had just happened. She was falling for him. He was falling for her. And Rebecca knew something was going on, even if she didn't know what yet. His phone buzzed. Not Vanessa this time. Rebecca. Rebecca. This isn't over. Ethan. The judge dismissed your motion. Rebecca. I know you're seeing someone. I will find out who. Ethan. My personal life isn't your business. Rebecca. Everything involving Lily is my business. Ethan. Lily doesn't know anything. Rebecca. Yet. Ethan. Are you threatening me? Rebecca. I'm protecting my daughter. Ethan. Our daughter, and you're not protecting her. You're trying to control me. Rebecca. We'll see what the next judge thinks. She'd do it. File another motion, drag him back to court, make his life hell until she got what she wanted. That was who Rebecca was, who she'd always been. He drove to pick up Lily from Rebecca's house. She was waiting on the porch, overnight bag at her feet, looking small and confused. Daddy! She ran to him and he caught her, held her tight. Hey, baby. Why did Mommy say you were in court? Ethan glared at Rebecca over Lily's head. She stared back, unflinching. Just boring adult stuff, he said. Nothing for you to worry about. Are you in trouble? No, everything's fine. Promise? Promise. They got in the car. Rebecca watched from the porch until they drove away. Daddy? Lily said once they were a few blocks away. Yeah? Mommy asked me about your special friend. Ethan's hands tightened on the steering wheel. What did you say? I said I didn't know what she was talking about, because I don't. Do you have a special friend? Would that be okay with you if I did? I said it was, remember? I want you to be happy. I know you did, but it's complicated. Why? Because grown-up stuff is always complicated. That's dumb. Yeah, it really is. They got home and Lily immediately went to her room to change out of her dress. Ethan sat on the couch and finally let himself breathe. His phone rang. Vanessa again. Hey, he answered. I landed. I'm in San Francisco. How's Lily? She's good. Rebecca told her about court. What did Lily say? Asked if I was in trouble. And? I lied and said everything was fine. It is fine. You won. For now. Ethan, she can't keep doing this. She can try. And she will. Then we need to tell her. His stomach dropped. What? About us. About what's happening. If she's going to find out anyway, we should control the narrative. Are you insane? That'll make everything worse. Or it'll take away her power. Right now she knows you're hiding something. That gives her ammunition. If we're up front, she'll destroy me. She'll take Lily, and I'll never see her again. A judge just said you're a good father. One judge, one time. You don't know Rebecca. She'll keep filing motions until she finds a judge who agrees with her. Then we fight together. Vanessa, I'm serious. I have resources. I can afford the best lawyers. We can... No. Ethan, I said no. I'm not letting you pay for lawyers. I'm not letting you fix this with money. That's not how this works. Then how does it work? I don't know. I just know I can't risk losing Lily. Not for anything. Not even for you. The silence on her end was deafening. I see, she said finally, voice flat. Vanessa. No, I get it. Your daughter comes first, as she should. I just thought... Never mind. Thought what? That maybe I could be part of that. Part of your life, part of hers, eventually. But if that's not possible, it's not that it's not possible. It's that it's not safe. Not right now. When will it be safe? I don't know. So we just wait? For what, months, years? Until Rebecca decides she's done being angry? Maybe. That's not fair. Life's not fair. Don't patronize me. I'm not. I'm being realistic. You're being a coward. The word stung. What? You heard me. You're scared of Rebecca, so you're pushing me away. You're using Lily as an excuse. Lily's not an excuse. She's my daughter. I know that. But you're acting like choosing me means abandoning her, and that's not true. Isn't it? Every minute I spend with you is a minute Rebecca can use against me. Every text, every phone call, every coffee date. It all becomes evidence that I'm not prioritizing Lily. That's not how parenting works, and you know it. That's exactly how custody battles work. Vanessa was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was softer. I can't do this. Do what? Wait around hoping you'll decide I'm worth the risk. I've spent my whole life waiting for people to choose me. My parents chose Rebecca. My ex chose his ego. I'm not doing that again. So what are you saying? I'm saying I need to know if this is real. If we're doing this or if we're not. Vanessa, I have a custody hearing aftermath to deal with. I have a 7-year-old who needs stability. I can't make promises right now. I'm not asking for promises. I'm asking if you're in or out. It's not that simple. It is that simple. Either you want to be with me badly enough to deal with the complications, or you don't. Ethan looked down the hallway toward Lily's room. He could hear her singing to herself, that off-key voice he'd heard every day for 7 years. I can't lose her, he said quietly. I'm not asking you to. But that's what might happen. It might, or it might not. But if you're not willing to take that chance, then we're done here. Vanessa, I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't mean for this to get so complicated. Me neither. For what it's worth, last night was the best date I've had in years. Same. And kissing you was, yeah. Silence. I should go, Vanessa said. I have meetings. Life goes on, right? Right. Take care of yourself, Ethan. And Lily, she's lucky to have you. Vanessa, wait. But she'd already hung up. Ethan sat on his couch, phone in his hand, and felt something crack inside his chest. He'd done the right thing. Protected Lily. Kept his daughter safe. That was what mattered. So why did it feel like he'd just made the biggest mistake of his life? Daddy? Lily appeared in the doorway, still in her unicorn pajamas. You okay? Yeah, baby, I'm fine. You don't look fine. Just tired. She climbed onto the couch next to him, tucked herself under his arm the way she used to when she was smaller. Is it about your special friend? How did you... I'm 7, not stupid. Despite everything, he smiled. No, you're definitely not stupid. Did she make you sad? No, I made me sad. That doesn't make sense. I know. Do you like her? Yeah, I really do. Then why are you sad? Because sometimes liking someone isn't enough. Why not? Because life's complicated. You say that a lot. Because it's true a lot. Lily thought about this, her small face serious. I think you should be with her. Lily, Mommy's going to be mad either way. She's always mad, so you should at least be happy. The wisdom of 7-year-olds was occasionally devastating. When did you get so smart? He asked again. I told you, I've always been smart. She hugged him tighter, and Ethan closed his eyes and tried not to think about Vanessa on a plane, flying away from him. Tried not to think about what he'd just given up. Tried not to think about whether his daughter was right. Whether he should fight for the thing that made him happy, even if it meant fighting Rebecca. Even if it meant risking everything. His phone buzzed one last time. Vanessa. I lied. I can't do this. I can't walk away. So when you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'll be here. No pressure. No ultimatums. Just, I'll be here. Ethan stared at the message, Lily warm against his side, the weight of impossible choices pressing down on him. He didn't respond. Not yet. But he didn't delete the message either. 3 weeks passed like walking through fog. Ethan went through the motions. Work, Lily, soccer practice, bedtime routines. He didn't text Vanessa, didn't call, deleted the dating app entirely and tried to pretend that one accidental swipe hadn't turned his entire world sideways. Vanessa didn't reach out either, except for that one message he still hadn't deleted, still hadn't answered. Rebecca backed off, probably on advice from her lawyer. The custody arrangement held. Life returned to what passed for normal, except Ethan couldn't sleep. He'd lie awake at 2 a.m. staring at his ceiling, thinking about Vanessa's laugh, the way she'd looked at him across the table at Marcello's, the kiss on the sidewalk that had lasted maybe 10 seconds, but had rewired something fundamental in his brain. You look like death, Marcus said one morning, dropping into the chair across from Ethan's desk. Thanks. Still thinking about her? I'm not thinking about anyone. That's a lie. You've been useless for 3 weeks. You missed the Henderson meeting yesterday. I rescheduled. You forgot it existed until I reminded you. Ethan rubbed his eyes. What do you want, Marcus? I want you to stop being miserable and do something about it. There's nothing to do. There's always something to do. Not when doing something means losing your kid. Marcus leaned back, studying him. You really think that's what would happen? Rebecca made it pretty clear. Rebecca's bluffing. She filed an emergency motion and got slapped down by a judge. She's got nothing. She'll find something. She always does. So you're just going to let her win? Let her control your life forever? It's not about winning. It's about protecting Lily. And you think Lily's protected by watching you be miserable? Ethan didn't have an answer for that. Marcus stood up. Look, man, I'm not saying throw caution to the wind, but that kid of yours is smart. She knows something's up, and eventually she's going to figure out that her dad gave up on being happy because he was too scared of her mom. That's not fair. Life's not fair. You told me that once, remember? When I was going through my divorce, and you said sometimes you have to choose between being right and being happy. That's different. How? Because you didn't have kids. No, but I had a vindictive ex-wife who tried to take half my pension and my truck. And you know what you told me? You said don't give her the power to make you miserable after she's already gone. Ethan looked up at him. I said that? Word for word. Apparently you're better at giving advice than taking it. Marcus left. Ethan sat at his desk, staring at spreadsheets he couldn't focus on, and tried to remember when he'd become this person. This scared, careful version of himself who let fear make all his decisions. His phone buzzed. Not Vanessa. Sarah. Sarah. Hey, Lily's asking if she can have a friend over this weekend. The new girl from her class. Parents want to meet you first. Dinner, Friday? Ethan. Sure. What time? Sarah. 6 p.m. They seem nice. Dad's some tech guy. Mom's a teacher. Ethan agreed and forgot about it until Friday, when Lily reminded him approximately 47 times that her new friend Maya was coming over, and it was very important that he be nice and not embarrass her. I'm always nice, Ethan protested. You're weird nice, like dad nice. That's embarrassing. How is being nice embarrassing? You'll do something dorky. You always do. I'm not dorky. Lily gave him a look that said she had an entire mental catalog of his dorkiness and could produce evidence at will. The doorbell rang at exactly 6. Ethan opened it to find a couple in their mid-30s, the dad in a casual button-down, the mom in jeans and a sweater, and a little girl who immediately grabbed Lily's hand and started chattering about the dollhouse in Lily's room. Hi, I'm David, the dad said, extending his hand. This is my wife Jennifer, and that tornado is Maya. Ethan, come in. Sorry about the mess. Please. You should see our place. Looks like a toy store exploded. They settled in the living room while the girls disappeared down the hallway. Jennifer was warm, asked about Lily's school and activities. David mentioned he worked in tech, something about data security that went over Ethan's head. What do you do? David asked. Logistics? Nothing exciting. Hey, logistics keeps the world running. Someone's got to make sure stuff gets where it's going. They ordered pizza, Lily's choice, which meant half cheese and half pepperoni with no other toppings because anything else was weird. The girls ate in Lily's room while the adults sat at Ethan's small dining table. So, Jennifer said carefully, Maya mentioned Lily's been talking about her mom a lot lately. Ethan's guard went up immediately. Oh? Nothing bad. Just that she's confused about the custody thing. She asked Maya if her parents were divorced too. We're not, David said quickly, but Maya's cousin is, so she gets it. Lily's been asking questions, Ethan admitted, about why her mom and I don't live together, whether it's her fault. That's normal, Jennifer said. She was a teacher, Ethan remembered, probably dealt with this stuff all the time. Kids that age think everything's about them. The divorce, parents' moods, everything. What did you tell her? David asked. That sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, and it's nobody's fault. That her mom and I both love her even if we can't be together. That's good. Honest without being too heavy. They talked for a while about parenting, about schools, about the chaos of raising kids in a world that felt increasingly insane. It was easy, comfortable. Normal people having normal conversations about normal problems. Can I ask something maybe too personal? Jennifer said. Sure. Are you dating anyone? Ethan nearly choked on his beer. Why? Because Lily mentioned you had a special friend. She seemed excited about it, then sad that it didn't work out. She said that? To Maya. Who told us? Sorry, kids are terrible at keeping secrets. David laughed. Maya once told her entire class that Jennifer's sister was getting divorced before the sister even knew she was getting divorced. That was a fun Thanksgiving, Jennifer said dryly. Ethan set down his beer. There was someone, it didn't work out. Because of the ex-wife? Jennifer asked. How did you? Just a guess. Maya's cousin went through something similar. His ex used the custody agreement like a weapon, made dating impossible. Yeah, that sounds familiar. For what it's worth, David said, that's bullshit. You deserve a life outside of being a dad. Tell that to a family court judge. Did it go to court? Almost. Emergency custody motion. Got dismissed, but it was close. Jennifer winced. That's intense. What triggered it? I went on 2 dates, that's it. But my ex found out and lost her mind. 2 dates isn't grounds for a custody change. Didn't stop her from trying. Is the person you were seeing still around? David asked. Ethan thought about Vanessa's last message. Still saved on his phone. Still unanswered. She said she'd wait, he said quietly. But I don't know for how long, and I don't know if it's fair to ask her to. Do you love her? Jennifer asked. The question hit him harder than it should have. Love. They'd had coffee twice, dinner once, a handful of text conversations, and 1 kiss on a rainy sidewalk. But he thought about her every day. Missed her in ways that didn't make sense. Felt like something fundamental was missing from his life now that she wasn't in it. I don't know, he said. Maybe. It was too fast to really know. Sometimes fast is how it works, David said. I knew I wanted to marry Jennifer on our 2nd date. He proposed on the 3rd, Jennifer added. I said no. She made me wait a whole month. I wanted to make sure you were serious. When did you know? Ethan asked. Jennifer smiled. When he showed up at my apartment at midnight with soup because I mentioned I was getting a cold. We'd been dating 3 weeks. Most guys would have sent a text. He drove across town in a snowstorm with homemade chicken noodle. It was from a can, David admitted. Still counts. Ethan felt something twist in his chest. I think I messed this up. I was so focused on protecting Lily that I forgot I'm allowed to want things too. You didn't mess it up, Jennifer said. You were being a good dad, but good dads are also allowed to be happy. What if my ex doesn't see it that way? Then she's wrong, and eventually a judge will see that too. Eventually might be years of legal battles. Might be, or might not, but you can't live your life based on what your ex-wife might do. The girls emerged from Lily's room, covered in glitter for reasons Ethan didn't want to examine. Maya's parents laughed and started gathering their things. We should do this again, David said. Maya hasn't stopped talking about Lily all week. Same. Lily's been excited about this since Tuesday. At the door, Jennifer turned back. That woman you were seeing? If she's willing to wait through all this mess, she's probably worth fighting for. After they left, Ethan helped Lily clean up the glitter explosion that was now her room. I like Maya, Lily announced. Me too. Her parents are nice. They're not divorced. Nope. Do you think you and Mommy will ever get back together? Ethan stopped picking up glitter. No, baby, we won't. Because you don't love each other anymore? We love you, but sometimes that's not enough to make a marriage work. Lily thought about this. Do you love your special friend? I might. I don't know yet. Why not? Because I haven't spent enough time with her to know. Why didn't you spend more time with her? Because I was scared. Of what? Of your mom getting mad and taking you away. Lily climbed into his lap, unusually serious. Daddy, I don't want you to be alone forever because you're scared of Mommy. I'm not alone. I have you. That's different. You need grown-up friends too. When did you get so smart about this stuff? Maya's cousin explained it. Her dad was sad after the divorce, and then he met someone nice, and now he's happy again. She said it's okay for grown-ups to have new people. Ethan hugged her tight. You're pretty amazing. You know that? I know. After she went to bed, Ethan sat on his couch with his phone in his hand. Vanessa's message was still there, 3 weeks old now. Vanessa, I lied. I can't do this. I can't walk away. So when you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'll be here. No pressure, no ultimatums. Just, I'll be here. His thumbs moved before he could stop them. Ethan, are you still there? 3 dots appeared immediately, like she'd been waiting. Vanessa. Yes. Ethan. I'm sorry I didn't respond sooner. Vanessa. You were protecting your daughter. I understand. Ethan. I was also being a coward. Vanessa. Little bit. Ethan. Can we talk? Vanessa. I'm in New York, board meeting tomorrow, but I can talk now. His phone rang 30 seconds later. Hi, he said. Hi. Her voice sounded tired. How are you? Terrible, you? Same. I've been thinking about you. Yeah? Every day, multiple times a day. It's actually getting pathetic. She laughed, and the sound made something in his chest loosen. I've been doing the same thing. My assistant asked if I was okay yesterday because I zoned out during a presentation thinking about dragons. Still working on the swimming question? Still working on whether you were going to call. I'm calling. 3 weeks later. I know. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. Just tell me what you want. Ethan took a breath. I want to see you again. I want to try this for real. I want to stop being scared of Rebecca and start living my life. What changed? Lily told me I deserved to be happy. Also, some people I just met told me the same thing. Apparently, everyone can see I'm miserable except me. You're not miserable because of me. No, I'm miserable without you. There's a difference. Silence on her end. Then, when can I see you? When are you back in Portland? I'm not scheduled to be back for a month. What if you came back sooner? For what? For me. For us. For whatever this is. Ethan, I know it's a lot to ask, but I don't want to wait a month. I've already wasted 3 weeks. More silence. He could hear her breathing, could imagine her in some expensive hotel room, probably pacing. I can move some meetings around, she said finally. Be there Monday. Monday works. But we need to do this right. No more hiding. No more secrets. You want to tell Rebecca? I want to not care what Rebecca thinks. There's a difference. She's going to make our lives hell. Let her try. I'm done being scared of my sister, and you should be done being scared of your ex-wife. Easier said than done. Most things are, but we can do hard things, Ethan. Can we? We have to try. Otherwise, what's the point? They talked for another hour, about nothing and everything, about Lily and Vanessa's work and whether dragons could actually exist or if physics made them impossible. When they finally hung up, it was past midnight, and Ethan felt lighter than he had in weeks. Monday came fast. Vanessa texted that she'd landed, that she was checking into a hotel, that she wanted to see him, but maybe they should figure out the Rebecca situation first. Ethan, what do you mean? Vanessa, I think I need to talk to her. Clear the air. Ethan, that's a terrible idea. Vanessa, probably, but it's happening anyway. Ethan, when? Vanessa, tonight. I already called her. Ethan, you what? Vanessa, she agreed to meet me for coffee. She doesn't know what it's about yet. Ethan, Vanessa, this is insane. Vanessa, I know, but I'm tired of hiding, and if we're doing this, she's going to find out anyway. Better she hears it from me. Ethan, she's going to kill you. Vanessa, she can try. Ethan spent the evening pacing his apartment while Sarah watched Lily. His phone stayed silent until 9:47 p.m. Then it rang. Vanessa. Are you alive? He answered. Barely. She sounded exhausted. That was worse than any board meeting I've ever sat through. What happened? Where do you want me to start? The part where she threw her coffee at me or the part where she told me I was dead to her? She threw coffee at you? Missed, mostly. Got my sleeve. This sweater was expensive too. Vanessa. I'm okay. I'm fine. It went exactly as badly as I expected. What did you tell her? The truth. That I matched with you by accident. That we started talking. That I'm falling for you and I'm not going to apologize for it. And she said, a lot of things I'm not going to repeat. The highlights include, I'm a terrible sister. You're using me for money. This is the ultimate betrayal. She's going to make sure I regret this for the rest of my life, etc. I'm sorry. Don't be. I expected all of it. What I didn't expect was the other part. What other part? Vanessa was quiet for a moment. She cried, actually cried, and not angry crying, sad crying. Rebecca cried? I know. Threw me completely. She said she'd lost you already, and now she was losing me too. That everyone in her life leaves and she doesn't know how to stop it from happening. Ethan sat down hard on his couch. What did you say? I told her that people don't leave because they want to hurt her. They leave because she pushes them away. That she's so busy trying to control everything that she doesn't see she's destroying everything instead. How'd she take that? Through the coffee, but I think she heard it. Before she stormed out, she said something weird. What? She said if I hurt you the way she did, she'd never forgive me. And then she left. Ethan tried to process that. Rebecca, concerned about him? Rebecca, actually self-aware enough to admit she'd hurt him? That doesn't sound like her, he said. I know, but I think maybe seeing us together forced her to confront some things. About herself, about the divorce, about why she's so angry all the time. That doesn't mean she's going to stop fighting this. No, but maybe she'll fight differently. Or maybe she won't fight at all. You don't know Rebecca. Neither do you, apparently. People change, Ethan. Sometimes even people we think we know. He wanted to believe that. Wanted to think Rebecca could see this for what it was and let it go. But years of experience told him otherwise. Where are you now? He asked. My hotel. Room 412. Why? Can I come over? Lily is with Sarah. I asked her to watch her tonight just in case. Just in case what? Just in case you needed me. He could hear her breath catch over the phone. Come over. The hotel was downtown, one of those places that cost more per night than Ethan's monthly rent. He texted from the lobby and she came down to meet him, still in the coffee-stained sweater, hair pulled back, looking exhausted and beautiful. They didn't say anything, just looked at each other in the middle of a fancy hotel lobby while business travelers walked past with their rolling suitcases. Hi, she said finally. Hi. Thanks for coming. Thanks for fighting a dragon for me. She laughed, and suddenly they were kissing, right there in the lobby with people watching and neither of them caring. When they pulled apart, Vanessa was smiling. That was better than coffee. Way better. Want to go upstairs? Absolutely. Her room was ridiculous. Floor-to-ceiling windows, king bed, bathroom bigger than Lily's entire bedroom. Vanessa kicked off her shoes and collapsed on the couch. I'm exhausted, she said. You just went to war with your sister. And survived, mostly. Ethan sat next to her. What happens now? I don't know. We figure it out as we go. That's not much of a plan. Do you have a better one? Not even a little bit. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Tell me about Lily. How is she? Good. She made a new friend, covered the apartment in glitter, asked me when she was going to meet you. Vanessa sat up. She what? She knows I've been miserable. Put two and two together. 7-year-olds are terrifying. What did you tell her? That I didn't know, that it was complicated. And she said? That I think too much and should just be happy. I like her more and more. She'd like you too. You think? I know. You're smart, you're funny, you have strong opinions about dragons. She'd think you're cool. Vanessa smiled. When can I meet her? Is that what you want? For real? Ethan, I'm not doing this halfway. If we're together, I want to actually be in your life, which means eventually meeting your daughter. Rebecca will lose her mind. Rebecca already lost her mind. At least now it's official. He kissed her again because he didn't know what else to do with the feeling expanding in his chest. This is crazy, he said against her lips. Completely insane. We're going to regret this. Probably. But you're still here. Still here. They stayed on the couch for hours, talking and not talking, being together in a way that felt easy despite everything being complicated. Around 2 a.m., Ethan got a text from Sarah. Sarah, Lily's asleep. Take your time. About damn time you got a life. He showed Vanessa, who laughed. I like Sarah. Everyone likes Sarah. She's basically a saint. When do I get to meet everyone? You really want that? The full chaos experience? I want everything. The good parts and the messy parts, and the parts where your daughter covers everything in glitter. She does that a lot. I'm prepared. Ethan looked at her. This woman who'd accidentally swiped right on him and somehow changed everything. I think I'm falling in love with you. Vanessa went very still. You think? Okay, I know. I know I'm falling in love with you. Which is insane because we barely know each other and this whole thing is a disaster and there are about 40 reasons this shouldn't work. But I don't care. I want to try anyway. Even with Rebecca being Rebecca? Even with that? Even with the media probably finding out eventually that you're dating the billionaire sister of your ex-wife? Wait, will the media find out? Eventually. I'm not that famous, but I'm famous enough. That's going to be fun. Sarcasm? So much sarcasm. She kissed him. I'm falling for you too. In case that wasn't obvious. A little bit obvious, you did fly across the country multiple times and confronted my sister. That too. So what now? Now I go home and get some sleep, and tomorrow we figure out how to actually do this. Together? Together. He left around 3 a.m., driving through empty Portland streets, and for the first time in 3 weeks actually felt like things might work out. The next morning, Rebecca called. We need to talk, she said. About what? About you and my sister. What about us? Is it serious? Ethan took a breath. Yeah, it is. Silence on the other end. Then, I don't like it. I know. I think you're both making a mistake. That's your opinion. Lily's going to be confused. Lily's smarter than you think. She'll understand. More silence. If you hurt her, I'm not going to hurt her, and neither is Vanessa. You don't know that, neither do you, but I'm willing to find out. Rebecca sighed, long and heavy. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah, well, neither can I. For the record, I still think you're an idiot. Noted. But I'm not going to fight you on this. I'm tired of fighting. Ethan nearly dropped his phone. What? I said I'm tired of being angry, of going to court, of making everyone miserable, including myself. So if you want to date my sister, fine, just don't screw it up. Rebecca. And if Vanessa hurts you, I reserve the right to say I told you so. Deal. I'm hanging up now before I change my mind. She did. Ethan stared at his phone, trying to process what had just happened. Rebecca giving permission? Rebecca backing down? He called Vanessa. Rebecca just called, he said. And? She's not going to fight us. Are you serious? I think so. She said she's tired. Holy shit. My thoughts exactly. So we're, what, actually doing this? Looks like it. Vanessa laughed, giddy and disbelieving. We're doing this. We're really doing this. When can I meet Lily? Whenever you want. Tomorrow? That fast? I've been waiting weeks, Ethan. I'm done waiting. The next day, Vanessa came to his apartment. Lily was vibrating with excitement, had changed clothes 3 times, kept asking if her hair looked okay. You look great, Ethan said for the 5th time. What if she doesn't like me? She's going to love you. How do you know? Because I love you, and you're pretty similar to me. Lily froze. You love her? Yeah, I do. Did you tell her? Yeah. What did she say? She said it back. Lily grinned. That's good. That's really good. The doorbell rang. Vanessa stood in the hallway holding a box, nervous in a way he'd never seen her. Hi, she said. Hi, come in. She stepped inside and immediately spotted Lily, who was hiding halfway behind the couch. Hi, Lily, Vanessa said gently. I'm Vanessa. I know, Lily said. You're the special friend. I guess I am. Daddy says you're smart and funny and have opinions about dragons. All true. Do you think they can swim? Absolutely. They probably have hollow bones like birds. Helps with buoyancy. Lily's eyes went wide. That's so cool. Daddy didn't think of that. Daddy thinks about dragons differently than I do. What's in the box? Vanessa held it out. I brought you something. Hope that's okay. Lily looked at Ethan, who nodded. She took the box and opened it. Inside was a book. Thick, illustrated, gorgeous. The Science of Mythical Creatures. It has a whole chapter on dragons, Vanessa said, and unicorns, and whether they could actually exist based on biology and physics. Lily clutched the book like it was made of gold. This is the best present ever. I'm glad you like it. Can we read it? If your dad says it's okay. They looked at Ethan, who felt his throat get tight. Yeah, go ahead. Lily grabbed Vanessa's hand and dragged her to the couch. They opened the book and started reading, heads bent together, already talking about wingspan and body mass ratios. Ethan stood in his kitchen, watching them, and felt something settle in his chest. Something that felt like the future he'd stopped believing he could have. 3 months later, things weren't perfect. Rebecca still had her moments. The custody arrangement got renegotiated with Jennifer's help, became more flexible, more focused on what Lily needed instead of what Rebecca wanted to control. Vanessa split her time between San Francisco and Portland, eventually rented an apartment in Portland because hotels got old fast. Lily loved her, asked approximately 1 million questions, taught Vanessa how to play soccer badly. The media found out, ran a few stories about the billionaire dating her sister's ex-husband. It was weird for a week, then people moved on to other scandals. 6 months in, Vanessa started talking about relocating permanently, about wanting stability, wanting to build something that wasn't just work. Are you sure? Ethan asked. That's a big change. I'm sure. I'm tired of living out of suitcases. I want to be here, with you and Lily. Lily's going to lose her mind. In a good way? The best way. 1 year after that accidental swipe, they stood in Ethan's backyard. Slightly bigger now, Vanessa had helped with a down payment on a house, surrounded by people who mattered. Marcus and his new girlfriend, Sarah and her husband, Jennifer and David and Maya. Even Rebecca showed up, stayed for exactly an hour, was civil enough that Lily hugged her goodbye. Lily was the flower girl, took her job incredibly seriously, threw petals like she was executing a military operation. When the officiant asked if they were ready, Ethan looked at Vanessa, this woman who'd somehow found him in the chaos of a dating app algorithm and decided he was worth fighting for. Yeah, he said, we're ready. They kissed while Lily cheered and Marcus whistled and Sarah cried happy tears. Later, after cake and dancing and Lily falling asleep on Vanessa's shoulder, Ethan found himself on the porch, looking at the people he loved most in the world. You good? Vanessa asked, joining him. Better than good. No regrets? About what? The accidental swipe? The disaster with Rebecca? The complete chaos of our entire relationship? All of it. He kissed her. Not one. Even though it almost fell apart? Especially because of that. We fought for this. Makes it mean more. Lily appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. Are you guys being sappy again? Probably, Vanessa said. Gross. You love it. Maybe a little. She wedged herself between them, and they stood there, 3 people who'd found each other through accident and choice and sheer stubborn refusal to give up. It wasn't perfect. There would be hard days ahead, challenges with Rebecca, with blending their lives, with all the normal chaos of being a family. But standing there with Lily between them and stars overhead and the future stretching out wide and uncertain, Ethan couldn't imagine being anywhere else. One careless swipe had changed everything, and he'd do it again in a heartbeat.